that day. Hi, I'm Linda Fagans, and I would like to welcome you to the Persuasive Pen podcast. And what we're going to explore today is the art and science of persuasive writing using a technique called the narrative technique. Now, persuasive writing is a great soft skill for women leaders, women entrepreneurs, women professionals that is often overlooked. But developing and enhancing your skill will help you to be heard, seen, and for you to have a time to show your expertise using your voice, to show your skills in writing. And what's important is that by beginning to write effectively, you'll also be able to hone in on specific issues when it's time to speak. So we're going to dive into this narrative technique that can transform simple writing into persuasive, great, what I call pieces of art. What is at the heart of persuasive writing? Well, it's the ability to tell a compelling story. And what factors make a narrative truly persuasive? So here are some key factors or techniques that make the narrative technique effective. First of all, emotionally charged language. You use words that evoke strong emotions, that can capture the reader's attention and make your message more memorable. Second, relatable characters. Creating characters that your audience can relate to help them see themselves in the story and engage more deeply. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, listen, we're talking about my client. We're talking about the corporate world or nonprofit and me making a proposal. We're talking about relatable characters. It sounds like fiction writing. No, it's not fiction writing. You can use this technique as I go and delve more into it in your persuasive writing to engage your target audience. Now, remember, you've always got to remember what's your corporate structure, who is your audience, is a stakeholder, is it a nonprofit, is it your client, is it your project leader, is it your CEO? We want to expose you to the different techniques and how you can still use all of them to make an effective, compelling writing where you show your expertise, your confidence, and you can be seen and heard and your voice to come forward. Keep emphasizing that you can't undermine the power of persuasive writing. There's been studies now that it's been overlooked skill, but they find that the persuasive writing is a very important soft skill, and that's why it's been overlooked. But it's important. Yes, we say relatable characters. I'm going to explain further, but that means you looking at your audience to engage them. Third, clear conflict and resolution. You're going to tell a compelling narrative that includes a problem that needs what? Solving. Following by a satisfaction, and give your client satisfaction by giving them a what? A satisfying resolution. And that's what the whole purpose of persuasive writing is, isn't it? That you are going to show your client, your CEO, your audience, that you have a satisfying solution for them. That's a win-win situation, that you're not trying to sell them something that's not to their benefit. This is not about, again, keep saying persuasion is not manipulation, but you're doing it in an engaging, effective way where they will respond. Sensory details. Describing scenes with sensory details can immerse readers in the story, making it feel more real and immediate. And then a call to action. If you listen to some of my audios, you know that a call to action is very important. Ending your article, your memo, your proposal, your narrative with a clear call to action encourages readers to take the next step, whether it's what? Making a purchase, signing up for a service, or changing their mindset. So it's an important skill. Let's work with an example. Suppose you're writing an article to promote a new employee wellness program. You might say, employee wellness is important for overall productivity and morale. Our new wellness program includes yoga classes, healthy snacks, and mental health support. Sign up today to improve your well-being. Okay, but another way of saying it and to improve it, and yeah, you might say this is simple, it's professional, it says what I needed to say. But I just want to stretch you a little bit because you never know when you're going to need this technique, and it may not be necessary for this employee wellness, but for something else. But I'm using this because it's a simple example. So how about us opening and have your article say this? Picture yourself walking to a workspace where stress melts away, replaced by a scene of calm and focus. This is the environment environment we're creating with our new wellness program. Meet John, a project manager who struggled with work-related stress. And after joining our yoga classes and taking advantage of the mental health support, John not only feels better, but also performs better, leading his team with renewed energy and clarity. Our program offers yoga classes, healthy snacks, and comprehensive mental health support designed to help you thrive. Don't miss out on this opportunity to enhance your well-being and productivity. Sign up today and start your journey to a healthier, happy you. Okay? Now, no, we're not talking about being melodramatic. We're not talking about making a fiction story, but just look at the article. In the article, there's emotionally charged language to create a sense of calm and focus. You have a relatable character, John. That shows the benefits of the program. The conflict. John struggled with stress, overwhelm, not performing his job at his highest level. What's the resolution? Improved well-being and performance. This all creates a persuasive, compelling narrative. Sensory details like the calming workspace, renewed energy, make the story vivid. Finally, the call to action is clear, enticing, and encourages readers to sign up. This narrative technique can turn a business writing into persuasive, I'll say the word, masterpieces by tapping into emotions, creating relatable characters, and crafting a clear story. You can nudge your audience towards the desired action. I want to go over a little deeper some of these different techniques because I want you to understand, number one, when we talk about emotionally charged language, we're not talking about being melodramatic, not trying to sell a story. Instead, it's about selecting words and phrases that resonate with your audience values and aspirations. Remember, again, it's always about your audience. So you would apply this technique or use versions of it according to who your audience is and what you're trying to do. For instance, instead of saying increase productivity, you might say unlock your team's potential, which adds a sense of empowerment and possibility. Relatable characters. Now, first of all, do not use anybody's name without their permission or tell their story. So you might want to use some other names or hypothetical personas. Actual employees and customers are okay as long as you have their permission and they know that you are doing this. So be careful about that. But see, these persons should be persons that represent your target audience by telling stories about real people or personas who have faced challenges similar to those of your audience, your client, your boss. You create a connection that makes your message more compelling, and that's what you want, connection with your audience, whether in writing or in your persuasive speaking. For example, sharing a case study about an employee who benefited from a new company policy can illustrate the policy's effectiveness and relevance. Showing memorable characters or relatable characters just makes them alive, a real person. Haven't you been sitting in the audience and it seems like they're talking about a person and you can relate to it, or it seems like the speaker or the writer is speaking just to you? And we're emphasizing writing, but I'm saying to you, no, this is not about fiction writing. This is using a technique and beginning to use it skillfully to get the result you want. Then clear conflict and resolution. Again, they're essential components in this persuasive writing. This is a business context, and you see what the problem is: overwhelm, stress of its employees. So that's a big conflict, and versus whether the corporation structure is open to that. But you have an answer for this situation with your product, your service, or the strategy you provide, and how they can reduce this issue in the corporate structure. Now remember, you know your corporate culture. That's important. You got to be mindful of that. You should be aware of the clear conflicts when you're making your resolution, and be aware of what you need to overcome, and also be aware of what others might say. This is a job. Our job is not to make the employees comfortable. Well, this is 2024, and you need to show this is an important issue in terms of the mindset, the well-being. It's not so much of a big stretch, and it's more cost effective this way. You have to think about all those issues. The sensory details in business writing help to paint a vivid picture and make abstract concepts more tangible, describing the culture, the calmness, how the new design is going to affect the wellness of and the layout and the fact that they can go have yoga in a place of peace and tranquility is important. And then that call to action in business writing is always important. As you recall, call to action so you can be clear whether it's adopting a new policy, trying out a new product, or attending a workshop. A clear and compelling call to action drives engagement, makes them take action, or prompts immediate response. I want you to think about how you can apply this narrative technique, and it can be a very simple but yet persuasive way of introducing the solution. So I thank you for joining me on this episode of the Persuasive Pen Narratives That Nudge. And stay tuned for more insights and stories on the art of persuasive writing. So, I'm Linda Fagans, your persuasive strategist, and thank you for listening to the Persuasive Pen podcast.